Laughter travels differently when it's aimed at you. It sharpens the air. It strips the room of warmth. I stared at the white place card in front of my plate. Black ink, bold letters, idiot, trash. At first I thought it was a joke, some office prank, a misplaced card. But then I saw my wife's smile, thin, hesitant, trembling at the edges. And beside her, her boss, Miranda, the woman who spoke like she owned oxygen. She laughed, loudly. Then the table followed. The sound moved in waves, mockery disguised as social ease. I felt my pulse flatten, not rise, flatten. My fingers stayed on the edge of the plate. I didn't move it, didn't tear the card, didn't even blink too fast. I waited. My wife touched my arm and said, "Oh, come on, it's just a silly joke. Everyone knows how dramatic you can be." Dramatic. That word lingered like spoiled perfume. The rest of the night passed in fragments, glasses clinking, voices rising, eyes turning away. They treated me like the prop of a shared secret, like the punchline in a story I hadn't heard yet. When I finally stood up to leave, the president of the company, a man with 2 white teeth and hands too soft for honesty, approached me. He smiled. "Leaving already?" I smiled back. "Yes." And then I said, softly, "I'm cutting ties with you." He frowned. "Ties?" "With all of you." And I walked away. The silence behind me was louder than their laughter. 2 days later, the card sat on my kitchen counter. The ink hadn't smudged. The insult stayed permanent, even. After she said, "It was a joke, don't take it so seriously." But jokes have context. Jokes have boundaries. That night didn't feel like either. I replayed her laugh in my mind, how it came too early, too naturally, as if rehearsed. I started to notice things I'd ignored. The way she hid her phone screen when messages came in. The way she said, "It's work, babe," before stepping outside to talk. The new perfume. The late nights. I'd convinced myself marriage required tolerance. I was wrong. It required awareness. At breakfast, she asked if I'd forgotten the incident. I said no. She smiled, relieved and irritated at once. Then she kissed my cheek, the same way you close a file you no longer care to read. That day, I started watching her differently, quietly. Observation became survival. I began collecting fragments. Not evidence, not yet, just impressions. Her texts were always deleted by morning. Her calendar had recurring work dinners with the same initials, ML, Miranda Lewis, her boss. Once, I caught the scent of Miranda's perfume, sharp citrus and smoke, on my wife's blazer. I said nothing. Silence can be more revealing than confrontation. I checked our shared credit card, hotel transactions under business accounts, receipts missing. I didn't feel rage, not anymore. I felt calculation. Every night she came home and spoke about the firm, networking, new opportunities. And every night I nodded, listened, filed her lies away one by one. She believed I'd absorbed humiliation and moved on. But humiliation can be fuel when refined properly. I reached out to someone in her HR department, an acquaintance she didn't know I had. Asked for nothing more than a list of company events and who attended. Her name and Miranda's appeared together too often, too consistently. The pattern formed on its own. I didn't need to force it. By the time I requested the surveillance logs from that team-building retreat last month, I already knew what I'd find. Still, seeing it confirmed something primal in me. Truth isn't what destroys you. Denial does. 2 figures in the hotel lobby, her hand on Miranda's arm, Miranda's lips on her ear, then on her mouth. No hesitation, no confusion, no accident. I watched it unfold on my laptop screen, frame by frame, until detachment set in. It didn't even hurt, not anymore. Later that evening she came home humming. The smell of red wine clung to her. I handed her the USB drive without a word. "What's this?" she asked. "Work footage," I said. She plugged it in, watched herself betray me in 1080p silence. Her face changed slowly. Not guilt, not shame, recognition. She realized for the first time that I wasn't the fool she'd made me. Her voice cracked. "You went through my—" "I observed," I said. That was all. She tried to cry, but I could see she didn't know which emotion to reach for. Fear? Regret? Self-preservation? None fit. 2 weeks later, Miranda hosted another social gathering. Same venue, same table, same laughter. Only this time, I arrived with a new kind of calm. Every chair had a name card again. Polished, embossed, perfect. Except one. Miranda's. Hers said, Predator. The room froze before the first drink was poured. My wife's face went pale. Miranda's smile cracked like glass. I stood by the entrance, watching the discomfort bloom across their perfect table. I thought it was time, I said quietly, for a little workplace humor. No one laughed. They couldn't. Miranda stood, shaking. How dare you?" "How dare I?" I repeated softly. "No, how dare you?" I turned to my wife. Her eyes pleaded for mercy. She wouldn't find it in me. "I'm done," I told her. Not angry, not broken, just done. And I walked away again. This time, no one followed. I moved out that night, took nothing but a suitcase, my laptop, and the card that started it all. Idiot trash. It sits in my new apartment, framed. A reminder, not of humiliation, of awakening. They mistook silence for weakness. They mistook composure for ignorance. They forgot that still water reflects everything. Sometimes losing love isn't tragedy, it's extraction. The final cut that frees you from rot. Now when I think of her laughter, it sounds distant, small. I don't hate her anymore. Hate would mean I still care. I simply don't. And that is the quietest kind of revenge.